pleasure of interviewing today and discussing with Joe Zagacki, the voice of the Miami Hurricanes in all our sports, the three questions. Joe, it's a pleasure to have you here today and to flip the switch, as we say, with you interviewing me on things. But what is something that you've overcome in life that really has been a challenge?
Well, Doc, first of all, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. And I think for me, I don't talk about it too much, but certainly the one thing that I had to overcome in my life was my accident, the plane crash I was involved in back in 1992. And the reason I bring it up is it was after Hurricane Andrew. The short version was after Hurricane Andrew. And the reason I bring it up, it did not prevent me from advancing my career or any of those things. But what it did do for me is I made a promise to myself, which was I was going to live every day, not take it for granted, be grateful every single day for whatever opportunity I have. And I was going to look at my life and the world differently. And I still think I do that. I think there are things that might upset other people during the course of a day. And I can look and say, isn't the sunset beautiful? And I made a promise to myself that as long as I had good health, because at the time I was a wreck, I had multiple injuries, multiple fractures. And as I recovered, I thought, if I have my health and I have a good attitude, I can do almost anything. So I used that. Perhaps it was an obstacle overcome. Maybe the obstacles were self-inflicted. Oh, woe is me. Because in this business, there aren't a lot of opportunities. There are only like 150 of these jobs. So it took me a long time to become the voice of the Miami Hurricanes. Now, I worked my way up. I was the Don Bailey role. I was the analyst. I was the pregame show host. I was the postgame show host. I did all of those jobs before I became the voice of the Hurricanes. But let's face it, there are only so many of these jobs. So perhaps opportunity was an obstacle. And then if anything in my life was self-inflicted of saying, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I made the promise. When I was involved in that accident, I would look at the world differently.
That's great. What you kind of went into it, but what gets you excited to get out of bed every day and have the passion for, obviously the university and athletics that you have and you display to everybody?
I think what's exciting for me is in this job, nothing is the same. It's going to be a different story all the time. We don't know if it's going to be what the twist and tail is going to be. Is it going to be an easy win? Is it going to be a hard loss? Is there going to be a lot of tension? Who's going to be the hero? Who's going to be the star? We don't know what the story is. And what excites me every day is that when I prepare for the game, I can see some path of what the game might look like. But as the game unfolds, and maybe this is different for everybody, or maybe it's not, I don't know, maybe in your business, this particular thing is the same. But when it's 3rd down and 7, and the game is on the line, and the crowd is on the edge of their seat, the only thing I can think about at that point is it's 3rd down and 7. What's going to happen? Make sure it's a good call. Or maybe 2 minutes to go in the game. We have the ball in a basketball game. We're coming across half court. Need a 2 to tie, 3 to win. And the only thing that matters at that point for me is what's going to happen. And I think that's kind of exciting. And maybe it's a little bit different from what other people experience during the course of their day, but it certainly motivates me. And then, of course, just this job, it is a subjective job. So you might be great for someone, not so good for somebody else. So what excites you and motivates you every day is to be good, to be great. How can I do this better? Can I throw a perfect game? Is this next game going to be my best game? That's what I always try to achieve. And in order to throw the best game or throw a perfect game, it might be Wednesday. I got to prepare for it. I've got 2 more days to memorize a lot of names, or a couple more days to figure out what path this game is going to go, which way it's going to go. So I think trying to achieve a perfect game, it's always out there. I don't think I've ever achieved a perfect game, but you keep on trying.
That's great. What would you tell your 8-year-old self?
Uh, my buddies and I had this discussion the other day, a little bit, about how great it was when we were kids growing up. If we could go back for one more day. So what I would probably tell my 8-year-old self is slow down. Don't try to grow up so fast. Don't let the days. Uh, don't look ahead so much. Uh, I would probably tell myself, enjoy those moments of family, those moments of being with your friends. My dad's not with me anymore. If I could have one more day with my dad, I think that would be, if I could tell my 8-year-old self, my dad was one of my idols, my grandfather. If I could have those days, make them go from 24 hours to 48 hours or whatever, that's what I probably would tell my 8-year-old self. Don't try to grow up so fast. I think I always had my eye on the future, always kind of pushing myself, even when I was a kid. But if I could go back and have a couple of those days, I'd probably like to have those days and maybe tell my 8-year-old self, um, slow down, enjoy all those family times, and listen. This is a business, by the way, broadcasting. This is a business where everybody thinks it's about talking, what you say. And really, broadcasting is about listening. And so I probably would tell myself, listen a little bit more, become a better listener.
Yeah, and I think we all want that metabolism where we could go to the ice cream shack every day. A little bit of that back too. Joe, this was wonderful. I really appreciate you taking time for the young people of Dade County and, all you do for the University of Miami. And, there's so many memorable calls that you've made. It's kind of fun sometimes where they do a clip of a bunch of your calls, and in all the sports. So, we all love listening to you and, listening to you go off the air telling Don that, you're going to get some milkshakes. So really appreciate you and everything you do. And I look forward to seeing you at the bowl game.
Doc, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Always enjoy our conversations.
Take care. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.